Did you know you can turn your Growegy programs into templates? If you have a program that's going to repeat based off of a triggering event or weekly or monthly, you can create a template that has all of your tasks associated for that event listed out. That way you don't have to recreate those tasks every time you go to create that program. I'm going to walk you through how to set up your templates today, and we're going to get started by logging in at growegy.com and making sure you're in your planning feature. Once you're in your planning feature, go ahead and click into your calendar tab. Once you're in the calendar tab, we're going to go ahead and check into our grouping right here. I do prefer to set up templates without my grouping on, and I'll show you why. When you have no grouping on and you go into your unscheduled tool, it shows you your program types as headers for each of your sections. And we do have templates as a program type that you can select from. So all of your templates will be grouped together and listed in the same place. It makes it a little bit easier to locate them. Now, if you have your grouping on by campaign, it is going to show each of your campaigns here. Your templates will be under programs without campaigns. They are all gray because that's the color we've selected for that program type. They're still easy to locate, but they are mixed in with other programs. So again, I like to make sure that that grouping is off when I'm working specifically with templates. Now to get started to create a brand new template from scratch, you're going to click on the gray plus sign here to start a new program. For the program type, we're going to name this templates. And you should already have this as a program type option. You're going to go ahead and give the program a name. Maybe this is for receiving a client interest form from your website. Now, once you have the name set up here, you can go ahead and set a status. If you know that the owner of the project, the person overseeing it, is going to be the same every time you schedule this, you can go ahead and select an owner as well. You can always change this when you go to schedule your template. Down here for the campaign, I recommend leaving this blank so you can assign it to a campaign as you go. We're going to leave the dates as unscheduled. It is going to live over in the unscheduled box after we've created the template. If you have a leads goal for this particular template, if it's a client interest form, we can go ahead and put 1 here, or you can set your leads goal. If you're not doing a template for something that will generate leads, you're going to go ahead and leave this section blank. And that goes the same for your budget. If you know that you're going to have a specific budget every time you run this program, you can go ahead and assign that budget now. If you're not sure what your budget will be, go ahead and leave it blank and you can assign it when you schedule the template. Now, if what you're doing doesn't cost you any money, we'll just leave it as 0. You do have the option to add in a vendor. You can add in custom fields. So if you wanted to add a client name, for the value, we're just going to leave a space in there and that will be saved to your template. You can add as many of those custom fields as you'd like if you need additional information in here. You also have room for description and attachments, but the task list is what we're going to be working on. So you're going to come in here and fill out each of the tasks that are going to repeat every time you schedule this particular program. Maybe your first task is reaching out to the client. And we want to do that, let's say, within 1 day of this being scheduled. So because we know that this is going to be triggered based off of the start date of when we've received that client interest form, we can turn on smart due dates here and tell it that we want this to be scheduled 1 day after the start date. Now, what this does is it'll automatically set that due date for me when I schedule this template. If you're not sure what your due dates are going to be, you can just leave them blank. And then once you have all of your tasks filled out and you have your due dates, you can come over to the assignee section if you know who's going to be responsible for each item. If it's just you and your company, you can select yourself. If you have a team working on it and you know that certain people are going to always be responsible for specific tasks, you can go ahead and assign them to this now. Once you've done that, you're going to go ahead and click Add Program. And it's going to save over here in this panel. We have our client interest template right here. Now, when you're ready to schedule it, all you have to do is click to open it up. You're going to use the two squares at the top right to make a copy so that way you don't lose your template. And then from here, we can make our changes. So for this, I'll probably change this to website for the type. We can say client interest, and then typically I would put a client's name there. Down here, if I have a campaign to add into it, I can go ahead and assign that right away. And then I'm going to switch my dates from unscheduled to scheduled, and I'm going to schedule my first date on here. We'll go ahead and say January 1st for this one, and we'll run that through that first week of January. Now, the next part is going to be your leads. Of course, you can update your budget. You can add in the client name down here as well. And then down at the very bottom, you'll see that due date was automatically generated based off the date we started it on. Now I can also come in here and add additional tasks if I'd like to, and I can add in custom due dates as well if I don't want to use the smart due dates. If you would like more information on how to set up smart due dates, we do have a tutorial for that under the help section, and I'll show you that in just a second. We're going to go ahead and add this program in so you can see what it looks like in the calendar. And here's our client interest form. Here's the help section in our left-hand panel where we have additional tutorials as well as the email for our support desk. You can also turn your existing programs into templates. To do that, we're going to go find a program that we've already created. We'll go ahead and open up that program, and we're going to use those two squares again to make a copy. From the copy, we're going to choose templates as the type. We'll go ahead and remove anything that's not going to repeat in that new program when we schedule it. Down here, we'll go ahead and remove the campaign as well. And we're going to remove the dates. If you have a leads goal set or you've tracked any leads so far, you can go ahead and reset those or set your new goal that's going to be typical for this program. If you have a budget, you can set that as well. And if you're going to erase the information in the custom fields, just make sure you leave a space wherever you have a blank one. Otherwise, it won't allow you to save. Down here, where we have all of our due dates and tasks, you can see that I do have smart due dates turned on for these. If you don't have smart due dates on, you're just going to click into it and click clear to clear that due date. It'll delete it for you so you can set a new custom due date the next time you schedule your program. And again, if you know who's going to be assigned to these tasks and it's going to be the same person every time, you can go ahead and assign these out. And then we're just going to go ahead and click Add Program. Now that program is going to be saved over here in Unscheduled. Let's go ahead and there it is. Now all we have to do is click into it and press the two squares to create our copy and go ahead and get this scheduled. And remember, if you do need help, you can always reach out to your account manager for a walkthrough.